Everyone comes to Yosemite wanting to do Half Dome, but seriously, Clouds Rest is so much better. This is 2 days of a 4-day trip. Okay, this is the beginning of our hike from Tuolumne Meadows down over Cloud Rest and Half Dome and into Yosemite Valley. And it's a bit of work to try to find the trail from Tuolumne Meadows into Cathedral Lakes. So we'll have to do a little bit of orienteering, but so far so good. Cathedral Lakes. The first part of the track, about half mile out of Tuolumne Meadows, it's dry and dusty, passing these granite boulder fields. If you were in the bouldering, might be a good play to spend the day. But right now we're kind of looking forward to the time when we start hitting the big views. Yes, getting more of that. It's basically impossible to get lost here. I mean, look at this signage. It's just fantastic. Cathedral Lakes, that's us. Entering the wilderness, yes please, and away we go. Is it really wilderness area when the trail is a series of steps? I just can't get over the craftsmanship of this trail crew. Look at these stairs. Good heavens. I need a railing. Maybe a little bit of carpet runner. That's all that's missing. Only in Yosemite, right? Look at the shiny glacial polishing. And looks like an avalanche came through here, cleaned house a little bit. One of the great things about Yosemite is all the flowing water. Ice cold. No stream up, but stream down. And that is where it comes from. I just love taking little detours. What can this rock present? Oh yes, it's going to be a fantastic view, I see. Oh yeah, wow. Wow, big tree and big views. Just a random rock on the side of the trail. Decided to pop over there to see if there was much of a view. Mediocre. After being on the rocky slope for a while, it's nice to bust out into this beautiful green and lush meadow filled with wildflowers. That's so pretty, isn't it? Such a Yosemite scene, isn't it? So this meadow kind of comes around the corner, around this little hill, and right at the end here is our first night's camp. We are at the end of our day. Just walk up these very nice steps to get to our place to set up our tent. Look how nice that is. Sunrise, camp is packed up, ready to go. Where are these famous Yosemite steps? I mean, look at these things, they're perfectly spaced. It's like an architect did it. When the worms eat the old fell trees, they carve these little patterns in it, which look a little bit like petroglyphs, wouldn't you say? The top of a little rise here, and a whole new vista of granite domes and spires comes into view. Just about a mile and a half in, and we have these three lakes. This is the first of which, the Sunrise Lakes. And, truth to the word, the sun has just risen. This little creek runs from one of the Sunrise Lakes to another one over this beautiful slab. And the slab is going to give us a commanding view of the valley. Oh yes. Ah, the last of the Sunrise Lakes. Here we are nestled amongst the trees, right at the base of a big granite dome. And it's a little bit crisp this morning. I wouldn't say cold for sure, but it's perfect hiking weather. And this is absolutely stunning. Look at that. That is beautiful. This is Lower Sunrise Lake. What a gorgeous place. That little spike is the ridge we're going to be on in just a minute, called Clouds Rest. Clouds Rest, 4.7 miles, Half Dome, 9.7. This unnamed pond is perhaps our last water before we go up Clouds Rest. It's quite beautiful, isn't it? This trail is so well maintained. I mean, look at these blocks they have here, these little step downs. It looks more like they belong in a city park than in the backcountry. This is the saddle before the final pitch up to Clouds Rest. You can see it poking through the trees right there. On the left side, you see Little Yosemite Valley. We'll get a better view in a minute. On the right side is Yosemite Valley itself, not Little Valley, and we'll see a better view of it in a minute. But right now, the trail is super, super easy going. Okay, this last little saddle here is the last bit before we make our ascent up Clouds Rest. We have about 400 vertical feet to do in less than a mile. The trail map shows switchbacks. Spectacular view on the left. Okay, so this is our first real view of the immense cliff that's on the edge of Cloud's Rest. Woo! It's down there. It's right down there. We decided to step up on the ridge. Wow. And that's the top. The top of Cloud's Rest, there's two ways up. One way is a trail, the second way is along the ridge. And this is pretty much the hardest thing we've encountered so far. There's no real danger. It's a long way to the cliff on the left or the right, but you know, it's pretty easy going, and the views are amazing. This ridge is outstanding. Look at it. It's so beautiful. On every side, crazy cliffs. Oh my gosh. It is so, what a place to be. And there's Half Dome. Look at its magnificence. What could be better than a ridge walk of epic proportions? This is the top of Cloud's Rest, and you can see unending domes and beautiful views. And here is the valley itself. There's Half Dome coming into view. It's quite vertical in the back as well as the front, doesn't it? And we come around on this side, and you can see the high Sierra Mountains and little Yosemite Valley, and then perhaps the best view of all. And here we go. Wow. Look at that slab. The trail down from Cloud's Rest is super, super easy. There's very few obstacles, and the gradient is very gentle. Basically, you're being propelled down by gravity and don't need to slow yourself down that much with your trekking poles or with your knees. So it just doesn't get any easier than this. Look at the size of this monster. When it fell, it must have been an event. The forest here is really sparse, and you're constantly catching views of the peaks and the granite domes on the opposite side of the valley. Yet another amazing view just opens up randomly. Coming down the trail here, you see a fantastic view of Little Yosemite Valley, and then what? Half Dome. And then this crazy thing right next to us. The ranger told us about this camp spot that's not on the maps and little known. Cute little fire ring, nice flat spot. It looks to be pretty cool. But the amazing part is the views. Now that is a pine cone. As we get lower, the foliage gets much thicker. The underbrush becomes, I'm not going to quite say impenetrable, but definitely difficult. From here, it's about 10 miles to the valley floor, but as you can see, we didn't actually go all the way. We stopped at the confluence of the Clouds Rest and John Muir Trail because tomorrow we're going to go tackle Half Dome. But what an amazing experience this has been so far. This is just, the Yosemite High Country is absolutely outstanding. It is a must-do, and I think Clouds Rest is even better than Half Dome personally.